Hello, everyone. I am John McDonald, a.k.a. Cannabon, a.k.a. Flint Marines, a.k.a. the Night Judge and the Monarch, a.k.a. Zordon, because it is time for another episode of Becoming Mighty and Morphin, the Power Ranger podcast experience here in the Rem Alternus family of games in the Alternia archives. I still have not figured out how to say all that elegantly. I'm very excited about tonight's episode, and we're going to have a lot of fun. One of our players is not with us for the moment, and one of our players tonight is going to be ASMRing because they are not feeling well. But I like the ASMR sound, so we're going to go with it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so let's have everyone go around the table and introduce themselves. I'll start on my left. Cecily, hello, welcome.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Lottie Alla West, a.k.a. Cecily Adwell, I'm trying to find a good word to describe her, spunky Blue Ranger. I'm not really I'm performing at Anime Magic this weekend, but that won't matter. But I'm booked out for the rest of the year at a lot of different conventions. So I'll be heading to DerpyCon, TeslaCon, and a few others if you ever want to see some cool, nerdy drag or burlesque. And we're heading to Power Morphicon soon, so...
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah. I know. Morphicon. And I'll be cosplaying a Pink Ranger if my costume comes in time. So I'll be cosplaying Kendrix Morgan.
Ooh, how exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a rumor you wanted to try to upgrade your weapon.
I do.
And let's begin with that. Roll me a d20 and let's see if you get 10 or higher.
Let's hope that I do.
And what are you trying to upgrade your weapon to include?
I want to upgrade my grip. So I got a 7. Failed again.
A 7, which is not 10, but you can try next week to upgrade either your armor or your weapon. And what you want is the reinforced grip, which would allow you to roll might instead of finesse, which is a very popular item and way to do things. Jane Russell, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you. I am Elizabeth, or Isabeth on the internet. I am playing your a little shy but artistic Red Ranger, Jane Russell. I also am Drusilla, the bard on Like Clockwork every Sunday on twitch.tv/Master of Rem. But yeah, that's all I have going on right now.
And if you're listening here after the streamathon, because you most likely are, you'll recognize Jane Russell's voice, and you'll also be able to see Jane Russell's beautiful face, because that streamathon is live with audio and video, which is great. Are you you just upgraded your power armor to a medium, so it is now +2 toughness. So we're going to move on because you just got that back from the shop. Mm-hmm. And Alpha was very gracious and happy to do it for you. Brick, I'll let you say hi, hello. I won't make you do a long intro.
Hello, this is your ASMR Ranger, Brick Garrigan, coming to you live from my apartment complex. Today I will be talking to you in ASMR because I have lost my voice, but that's okay. The show must go on.
Thank you. That is both unsettling and terrifying, and I appreciate it.
I would like to try to upgrade my armor.
Okay, so you want to upgrade your armor? We can do that for you. Please roll me a d20, and we'll see if you get a 10 or higher. That is a 1, which is the opposite direction you wanted to go. But in doing so, you have a chance next week to try to upgrade your armor or to try to upgrade your weapon, and we can talk about that, because upgrading the weapon has a bit more of a nuance to it. Okay, and Roadkill, are you in the building?
I am, yes. My name is Roadkill. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't lighting up, so I wasn't sure if it was picking up my audio. So, as I said, my name's Roadkill. Also, Andrew Bryant, to those people who know me a little bit more personally, I guess. I am your, I'm trying to be your clever Yellow Ranger. Sometimes I'm not as clever as I wish, but either way, I hope it's entertaining to everybody.
We were all there for the truck train to sneak into the school with Cecily. We were all there for that. It was great.
Oh yeah,
I appreciated it immensely.
I could hear the background music.
It was good. It was good. Are you looking to try to upgrade your armor or your weaponry, potentially?
Let's see. Possibly. I'm level 3 now. So what can I do with upgrading the weapon or armor?
So let's do the armor, and we can talk about the weapon later. And basically, you're going to roll me a d20, and if you get 10 or higher, then we'll see. If you get 10 or higher, and that's a 3, which is not a 10 or higher.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
We aren't doing golf rules here.
I learned from the count. But luckily, every session you get to try again.
Fair enough.
And in the interim between episodes, we can always talk about what you want to do to your weapon, because there are many upgrades available, and that will make the weapon yours. And as you upgrade more, it becomes more and more legendary, and it becomes Quinton's. Shoju, I think they're called. Your dagger palm thingies. Also, make sure everyone give yourself a story point, because you get one at the beginning of every session, and those story points are yours, but they're also communal. And you can use one per scene, and I also get story points when I play the villains. Okay, everyone, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So, Cecily, I know you're pretty new to Angel Grove, right? You've only been here about a semester, right?
Yes, sorry, I was muted.
So you probably have been here. You're probably the newest in town, I would say. Jane, how long have you been in Angel Grove?
I have been in Angel Grove since the beginning of the previous summer.
Okay, so you've been here a little longer. Brick, you've been in Angel Grove long enough to be the baseball messiah, but have you lived in Angel Grove all your life?
Yeah, the town that I grew up in had this thing called the 13-year club. It's like the people that were in the school district from kindergarten through 12th grade. And I feel like Brick is one of those people. Just stayed in the same town his whole life. And has seen very little bit of the outside world.
So we have the 13-year club. And then, Quinton, how long have you been in Angel Grove?
Probably his entire life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then Eddie is not here. I'll be rolling for Eddie. Jester is off doing some fun merriment activities. But so the people that have been in Angel Grove longer expect what happens. If you've been at Angel Grove for any length of time, you might have heard rumors about this. But let's start off with the fact that it is still summer in Angel Grove. You can really feel the heat of it reaching in now. You know, whereas before it was just kind of sunny, a touch cool, much easier going to Ren fairs in full armor. Now it's getting a little too warm to do that. Today is a good day to be outdoors, and for those of you in the know, you're actually outdoors when the postman gets there. Cecily, it's not a putty this time, I promise. It's your regular postman, but they are there much, much earlier than they would normally be. And they had a letter for each of you in a striking lemon yellow envelope. So this is mail that you've been waiting for since elementary school if you've always lived in Angel Grove. This is mail that you kind of heard rumors about if you're from another city that was really close. And this is about something called the test. And the test is at the top of the letter in big, bold Comic Sans-y type fonts. And because I really love Willy Wonka, I've tried to do this where everybody's going to read a part of the letter, and I'm going to tell you what order you're going to read it in. I'm going to read your part, Britt, because it's a lot of words.
Thank you.
But we're going to start with Jane. So, Jane, you have the first line. So where it says insert name here, you can insert your name, or you can decide to be funny about it, whichever you want to do.
And this is the thing that you sent us.
This is the thing I sent you. Did you get that thing I sent you? Shout out to Harvey Birdman, attorney.
All right. Dear Jane, welcome to the competition. As you know, Angel Grove is a vastly competitive place for all career points. Whether you want to work in tech alongside military forces, in a creative field, or you just want to socially network so you'll be respected in all phases of your life, Angel Grove is an opportunity unique to most cities in the world.
All right. Quentin, you have the next couple of paragraphs. That should be your new one that you have.
All right. And today, an unrivaled opportunity extends to you before the start of your senior year. As is Angel Grove tradition, if you've been working out your body or mind, this is what you've been working towards as your goal. The day is here. The test site is this year's 5-event weekend, and certificate crowning is the Angel Grove Park Arena and Concourse. This familiar location boasts not only our Pee Wee Football League, but also hosts most intramural sports from Angel Grove Elementary, junior, and high school level events. Whether you're a gymnast or perform during Angel Grove in the Park, theater arts session, you've been to the concourse, but never like this before.
And then Cecily?
And the prizes this year are just as spectacular as ever. The winner will receive 2 full ride scholarships to the school of your choice, including such prestigious institutes as Angel Grove UC, Community College Institute, Tech, Vet Tech, Military Officer Candidate Academy, and the Angel Corps, the Angel Corps Job Adjacent Placement Center. That is a 2-year commitment and investment open to you free of charge. And if you've been accepted for the early admittance before your senior year to any post-high school program, the fees for the 2 years will be waived as long as you're completing an undergraduate degree or its equivalent as agreed upon by the admissions counselor.
This is your chance, competitor. Who do you want to be? Show up to the field at 9 a.m. ready to play with your school ID so we can verify your identity and eligibility to compete. Snacks, meals, water, sunblock, and camaraderie will be available all weekend long. Regards, the Angel Grove Test Committee for the Future of Angel Grove and America Incorporated. And so basically, this letter that each of you get invites everyone who is going to be a senior, who is currently a junior, at all of the high schools of Angel Grove to compete for a 2-year full ride scholarship to a school or school-adjacent program of your choice. And this could be anything that you agree upon with the person, assuming you win. So you've received this letter. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone want to do anything? Anyone want to talk to anybody about it?
Jane will go. Oh, I'm sorry. Was somebody else going to say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Jane is going to take the letter into her grandparents. Because she's not heard of this before. So she takes it in to show her grandparents to see what exactly, if this is like a legit thing.
As you take in your grandparents opening it, a couple of tickets fall out for spectators. And there is a website at the bottom of the letter that you or your grandparents can look up. This is a legitimate thing. You're not being scammed. If you call the school, they literally have a message about it that is playing right now, like a recorded message. They don't have somebody manning the phones. They're all going to be down at the field today. But this is a legit thing. This is not a scam. This is not a plot. Maybe it's not a plot by Rita, but it's a plot that happens annually if it's a plot by Rita. So
that's what like Cecily would have like looked everything up, like to be like Googling on her phone, like because her parents aren't tech savvy, so they'd probably fall for some kind of scam. So she wouldn't even ask them. So she's like making sure beforehand because she's never heard of it.
Did you look it up on Grove, the hit teen social media app for Angel Grove, or did you look it up on like a search engine?
I think I'm going to look on Grove because that's probably where I would be able to. If it was a scam, I would see like a big thing like, this is a scam, don't use it.
Yeah, there's a wall of responses of people already trying to guess what the 5 events are. And they're talking about previous events. Like there was one year where there was like a Frisbee toss. There was one year where there was like, it was like a 4-H themed one. And you realize that every year the prize has been different too. And some of the people that are listed as having won are like the heads of Angel Grove now. Like this is a legit thing and it's not messing around. But also people are talking about who they're inviting to want to see them compete too. And so it's also kind of a big spectator thing. It's going to be a fun day. It's a field day. It's Angel Grove Field Day. Y'all get into it.
Woo!
Angel Grove
Sports
Field.
Festival.
Yeah.
Sports Festival. My favorite episode of any favorite episode of any anime.
we'll see how long that enthusiasm lasts. Does anyone else have any questions before we arrive at the concourse? Is anyone going to go to the concourse together?
I think Brick is probably like waiting outside for everybody at the concourse. He gets there early and is just waiting for people because he doesn't want to go in by himself because it makes him feel more confident.
Well, it's kind of like graduation, so you're going to be a salmon swimming upstream. So I want you to give me an acrobatics to see if you are successful in staying outside or if you are a salmon swimming upstream.
No, I'm probably going to be a salmon.
Let's see if you are a salmon.
8.
So you try. The front of the concourse is kind of there's a cement portion of it. It kind of makes like a nice like crescent moon shape because it wants people to filter in a certain way. Unfortunately, everybody's filtering at once because once the letters are out, you have about an hour and a half to get there. So you're going to try, but the good news is that you're not alone. And if you haven't had breakfast, they have a fully catered like breakfast buffet thing for you.
That's the case then. Brick is hitting the breakfast hard.
That's good. You probably
He's there
should.
for the breakfast.
Breakfast.
It's not just for Brick. It's for everyone. By the way, it's not just for Brick. This is not like just for Brick. But the concourse itself is kind of the center of Angel Grove. It's sort of the middle of Angel Grove. The older you get, the less important it becomes, unless you're doing stuff there. But like it hosts like art festivals. Shakespeare in the Park happens there. If you've been to a graduation ceremony at Angel Grove, you've been there, but you've been in like half of the stadium. You've never actually seen the full stadium. This is one of the only events it does. If Angel Grove had a sports team, an MLB team, or an NFL team or something like that, this is where they would play. The field itself is oblong. Normally, you'd be able to see a classic red clay track around it and a large grass field in the middle and a whole bunch of bleachers. But today, as you're kind of ushered into the breezeway entrance, you don't get to see all that because they don't want you to see the events before they start. There are tables for check-in. There's even a help desk. Mrs. Appleby is manning the help desk as kind of the unofficial junior year mascot because not everybody knows where their student ID is. So Mrs. Appleby is there to make sure everybody is going to the right place. This is also the point before you enter where if you have friends or family coming to cheer you on, they can't go in the breezeway. It's just for you. They don't get to have breakfast with you. Like they have to. It's like a parting of the Red Sea. It's a little bit hectic, but it's like hectic everybody expects, so it doesn't like worry anybody. They also want all juniors to be able to compete. So if you were a late in junior year, like even if you arrived last week, Mrs. Appleby is there to make sure everybody can compete and that it's equal. The tough thing is it's not just Angel Grove High. There are other high schools in Angel Grove, so it's like a lot of things are happening. But there is breakfast.
That's important.
Yes.
Breakfast.
I heard Quentin's voice. Quentin, do you have a question?
No, I just was going along with what you were saying.
If you have questions about different things you want to do, if you wanted to know about the community college or the university, military training academy, any of the things that you could possibly win this 2-year scholarship for, a 2-year paid scholarship. I cannot stress this enough. It's if you win this competition, if you beat everyone else, you get 2 years of free post-high school, which in Angel Grove is a big deal. This could set you up for life.
Is this all athletic things?
We'll find out. The thing about this is, so Cecily, give me an alertness for what you found on Grove. Unless you want to give me a technology, because technology is technically like searching for stuff on the internet.
I'm seeing which one I have higher. I'm going to go with alertness.
Okay, give me an alertness.
I got a 15.
And you can choose to share this information or not, but it's not all athletic events.
Oh.
When you were searching and you were seeing some of the stuff people have done, they've talked about, like big brothers and big sisters have talked about from their junior year, there's been a wide array of events. They've never repeated an event, which is kind of interesting for the amount of people that you're now seeing. By the way, you've now arrived. And Cecily, you've gone from like 3 people to like 400 in the course of an hour and a half. And it is still very early in the morning, by the way.
Cecily is going to run over to Jane and be like, "Don't worry, I don't think it's going to be all sports," because I have a feeling that she'd be like kind of freaked out about that. She's like, "I don't think it's all sports." I did a little look at, and I think that they're like, I even saw like underwater basket weaving as an option. Like,
Thank goodness, because I would have failed miserably if this was all sports.
I know
Maybe they'll have,
somebody
like-
who will not fail if it's all sports.
Oh, I know. Maybe they'll have like an art contest or something.
That'd be nice. I mean, I'd be down for fencing, even though that is a sport. But
Eddie is going to approach you and wave, and then is going to mention the breakfast because Eddie is there as well. You're all there. All 5 of you are there. And now is a good time before kind of there's like a contestant official with like this big badge on her neck that has like a bullhorn that is about ready to say anything. So if you're scarfing down food or you want information or you want to like say anything to each other, now's a good time to do it, unless you're in a hurry to compete.
So what are you all thinking about doing?
I'm not too worried about this because I've got a couple, I've had some scouts check me out of my game, so I'm not too worried about getting into school for free, so this is just going to be kind of like something fun to do.
This is pretty much your day then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like a day to just kind of hang out, check out the competition.
eat the free food.
Yeah, breakfast.
For people that didn't quite catch
Well
that,
done.
we're calling it breakfast now. For anyone that didn't catch that, so I want everyone else for a story point for the most creative. What does Brick have on their plate? I will give a story point to the person that gives me the most creative, and I cannot stress to you how much of those story points are going to come in handy today. For the most creative, this is a big breakfast buffet. Anything you can possibly want. The most creative breakfast plate of food will get a story point, and Brick, you cannot play because you know your character.
He's drinking my ginger ale. But I think he's going to have a banana in his hand, but underneath, but like on the plate, like because he's holding the banana with the plate, there's going to be a whole mess of hash browns, chorizo with lots of cheese and gravy. And then, like, also balanced in, like, one hand is, like, one of those, like, little smoothie cups that you get at, like, the continental breakfasts at hotels.
Brought to you by Ernie's Juice Bar. Ernie's Juice Bar is represented here making smoothies for everybody.
I'm going to say that he has, like, a tray. And on the tray, there's one plate that has, like, a waffle with some chicken and, like, a honey drizzle on top. And then another smaller plate that has a bunch of fruit on it, and then another plate that has an omelet with some hash browns and some bacon.
All right, I'm actually going to give you the story point for chicken and waffles because that's the way to my heart right there. For anyone that's wondering, chicken and waffles or chicken with biscuit and gravy is also good.
I just said that because I'm hungry now and I want waffles.
No, it's so good.
I literally had chicken and waffles yesterday.
You will be getting after every event, the buffet is still up, and as it becomes lunchtime, you will have chances for more food. So breakfast can become brickunch. I don't know if that's a great word.
I was gonna say brunch, but that's already a thing.
Yeah.
Caragunch. That's a horrible word.
All right. So while you are contemplating this, I need everyone to give me a D6 roll. Give me a D6 roll and tell me what you got.
6.
3.
6 from Brick.
3 as well.
Was that 3 from Cecily?
Yes.
And Jane.
Cecily and Jane, please re-roll for me.
I got a 4.
I got a 1.
Cecily got a 4. Jane, you got a 1. That's great. I'm going to announce the events, and then I'll just announce it slowly while we wait for Quentin. Hello, juniors. This voice is coming through a megaphone, so it's crackly and tinny. It sounds a little bit like Brick if Brick wasn't doing ASMR. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. We are proud of you and proud to bring this competition to you today. My name is La Cienega Otroto, committee chairperson. for the Angel Grove, all those work. For those of you who don't usually watch this proceeding, each event will cut down the amount of potential victors by half. But once you are out, I encourage you to remain and to cheer on fellow competitors as an audience member. And by random drawing, happening in 30 minutes, is going to be the tire run. At check-in, you or your mobility substitute were given a number between 1 and 9, and that is the group you will be running with. I will give you a 5-minute warning for each group to line up in their designated area, and I wish you all good luck. La Cienega out. And so you have now basically rolled your groups, except for Quentin. Is Quentin back? Quentin's going to grow in group 5. That's what's going to happen. So basically what this is you're going to find out about this event as you approach. Jane, you were going to do this event first, and you are grouped with about 115 people. And half of this group aren't going to make it through, which could or could not include you based upon your role. Is there anything you want to do? Do you want to do any stretching? Do you want to get any advice from anyone? La Cienega did not tell you what tire run meant. So what do you think the tire run is?
I am picturing one of those workouts that, like, in an obstacle course where you have to, like, run through the tires. That's what I'm picturing.
Okay.
I'm kind of hoping it's something fun, like swinging from, like, tire to tire. But
hold on to that hope. So you are ushered up into kind of like a box with the number 1 spray painted like on it. There is a giant tarp, so you cannot see the field. Nobody in the breeze bay can see the field. So this is going to be a complete surprise to everyone, and it's going to be that way all day. How do you do with crowd, Jane?
Don't have stage fright. I do a lot of theater stuff with the theater. So I'm normally pretty good in a crowd. I don't get nervous or overwhelmed or anything.
Okay. All right. So you were ushered into line, and La Cienega is standing kind of proudly on this little like cherry picker thing so she can kind of look down and observe the little group of you. She's holding a remote in her hand, and she's just kind of at the edge of the breezeway, and the buzz is tremendous when it goes off. It reverberates in your head a little bit, but it has to because it has to hit like 115 people. And so that starts a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you see this kind of 2-mile-long red clay track that has a set of 6 tires placed every 400 meters. The tires are made so there is a bit of breathing room between them. And the idea is that you are going to have to run with all these other people and beat half of them in order to advance to the second round. And I need you to give me an athletics roll.
I got a 7.
You got a 7. Give me a finesse roll to see if you survive.
Oh gosh, I got a 6.
You got a 6.
Story.
Give me an athletics roll. That was only for the first half. You can still redeem it in the second half. But there are some people that have not practiced for this. There's someone like already kind of pulling their hamstring out.
I got a 17.
You got a 17. Give me acrobatics to see how high in front of the pack you pull. Acrobatics, unless you can convince me of something else.
Could I do conditioning instead? I don't know that would work, but
let's do conditioning because you're being jostled by a crowd and you've got all these things around you. So give me condition. Yeah.
17.
You got a 17. So you're not quite sure if it was because it was early, if it was just like the nervousness, but you end up in like the top 25 of your group. So you end up moving on to round 2.
Heck
and
yeah.
Heck yes. So next up is going to be Eddie, and I'm just rolling for Eddie. Eddie is a pretty bulky guy in my mind. And so we're going to and so Eddie gets a 17 and then gets a 9. So about halfway through, they stumble a little bit, but not too badly, because they did pretty well in the beginning, so there's a good chance they can make it to round 2. And they got a 14. So they don't do quite as well as you, Jade, but Eddie ends up doing well enough that they're in like the half of their pack, which is really good. So Eddie is a yes. Jane is a yes. So Cecily, you've now witnessed 2 of your fellow Rangers doing this, and it's going to be your turn to attempt this. So first you're going to roll me athletics. and we're going to see how you do. I mean, that's whatever you got to do.
I got a 17.
You got a 17. Awesome. So give me an acrobatics, unless you can convince me of something else.
My acrobatics is great. I don't know about y'all.
Give me an
10.
acrobatics. You got a 10? That's good. One more athletics to see if you can bring it home. Maybe you'll put Brick to shame.
I got a 15.
You got a 15. I'm not going to make you roll the other one. Your group, for some reason, what did you wear this morning? Like, not having any idea of what it was going to be. What did you show up wearing?
I think it's like an old Rescue, which is like the behind the scenes group at Ren Fair's t-shirt with some biker shorts and blue Converse.
Nice. Very stylish. I note the blue Converse as a blue Ranger.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
So Quentin
said he was back in the chat, but I don't know if he had to leave again.
That's fine.
Babies are fickle things.
Space bar's not working so well. One moment. All right, there we go.
There you go. Okay, so Quentin, this is a tire run, the first event. You are with 115 other people competing in this group. You have just watched Jane, Cecily, and Eddie smash it to some extent, and it is your turn to give this a shot. So give me, actually, how are you with crowds? Knowing how kind of important
I do fine with crowds.
You do fine with crowds? Okay, all right. So give me acrobatics. That critical success, I am not even going to make you roll the other one, but give me another acrobatics just to see how you do, to see if that 21 is negated in the second half by any foolishness. So you pulled out from the pack. Your Yellow Ranger training is actually paying off. At a 14, you get jostled a little bit. Some of the people in your group, including Skull, did not like that, so you get shoved a little bit. How do you respond to Skull shoving you and almost knocking you into the last set of tires?
What's going on, Skull? See me as too much competition?
And Skull is like, yeah, you know what I can do with a 2-year scholarship? And even though Skull tries to shove you again, Skull then falls flat on their face and nearly reenacts that scene in Tommy where the poor girl gets trampled on the stage by the Frankenstein guy. But you succeed. Quentin, you are going to be moving on to round 2, and you did very well. Yay! No one has succeeded yet. Brick, it is your turn. You were in the last group. You've just watched all of your friends do really well, both in the athletics department and the fellow Rangers, and even Bulk did okay. Skull just made it through. But even Bulk did okay. Do you really want to get outdone by Bulk? Give me an acrobatics.
Why does it have to be acrobatics?
The first one has to be acrobatics.
Oh my gosh. Why didn't it go? Okay, hold on. Let's try this again.
You can always
one more time.
You can always use the advanced dice roller if you see what you have for a specialization, because the base is always D20. So you can roll a D20 plus whatever other die you need, essentially.
Well, I don't have anything in acrobatics, so I'm just gonna roll a D20. 5. Hey, I'm gonna roll a D20 again.
Do you remember you have story points?
Yeah, I'm rolling that again.
Okay.
That's an 8.
Give me a finesse roll to see if you recover in the first half.
19. Oh gosh.
The crowd actually cheers for you because you didn't intend on doing a handstand, but wouldn't you know it? Someone just jostled you the right way where it looks like you were showing off to the crowd. Unfortunately, you're now in the back half of the pack, and give me an acrobatics to see if you catch up, when you catch up, how you catch up. Britt Kerrigan, athletic Pink Falcon Ranger.
We're gonna do it.
Okay. If you can do a finesse about as good as that, I will let you roll across the finish line.
It's embarrassing.
But you're good at finesse, though, right? So you're okay.
Yes.
People are really taking the people in the 6th group are really antsy and taking this really seriously. There are people on the wrestling team from Angel Grove Prep there, and they don't like Angel Grove High because it's public school. So you're getting shoved and kicked a little bit, like you swear somebody pulled out like a tire iron and was going to go all Peaky Blinders to get you guys out of the race. And you dip, dodge, dive, duck, and dodge your way through the very messy back half of the pack, and you just get through. And now you can have second Brickfest if you want.
I think that was probably my problem. I ate too much breakfast, and yeah.
Yeah, so Quentin, we're doing a game earlier, so if you'd like to play the game, what is Brick having for second Brickfast? Because there's a big buffet, so while you're not shoveling it in your face, what is Brick shoveling in their face?
Probably, sausage gravy, something filling.
Yeah, it is a fairly wide variety of foods, so don't feel shy about food. Also, don't feel shy about talking to any of the recruiters. They want you to come to their schools, but they actually have information and knowledge. And now that all of you have competed in the first event, you have some time in the breezeway. Is there anything you'd like to do between events?
I'd like to try to see if there's a more academic or theater-based event.
Roll technology for me.
I think Cecily's going to snoop around at some of the college programs and try to see if they have any like old world history programs or anything like that, something that she's interested in.
So Quentin, with year 19, you go on to Grove, the social media app, to see if you can figure out what the second event's going to be, or the third event, or if they're all tire runs, if it's tire runs all the way down. There is a cell phone jammer. You can't check Groves right now, the Angel Grove teen app. Like, no one in this breezeway can even post photos. And you're the first person to figure this out thus far. Don't know how well that's going to go down. And Cecily, there is a pleasant... are you looking more at community college, or because you know this is a full year 2 ride, do you want the university? Or
maybe the university?
Yeah. So the university... person there whose name is Chet. We'll say their name is Chet. But nice Chet.
Nice Chet.
Nice Chet. Chet says, well, yeah, we've got a few different programs. We have 3 different library science programs, including interlibrary loan, if you want to work that way. Our history program does include a work study abroad for a year, so you could study at Oxford if you'd like, or Cambridge. We do have equivalent admission with them. We're pretty well regarded, and we pride ourselves on being well-rounded. We just had our first full improv degree start this year, and so anything that you really want to do, Angel Grove wants to support you, especially the winner of the test, because they always go on to do amazing things.
She's like, thank you. She's like,
you're handed a promotional pad, so you're plus one to promotional pad. It has a little. So the Angel Grove University mascot, you kind of can't tell in pen scale if it's like a wombat or a platypus, but it's some kind of creature, and you're not sure how you feel about that.
Cool.
And yeah, is there anyone you want to talk about that? You just noticed Quentin, by the way.
Did I find the same information?
So Cecily, you were noticing Quentin on their phone, and they are a little puzzled.
I'm going to walk up to his side and go, hey, what's up? Did you not get breakfast or anything? Or breakfast?
Got a little bit.
You look puzzled. What's going on?
Just trying to see if there's a non-athletic event for this thing.
I'm crossing my fingers for a fencing tournament, but I know that that's slim to none, and it would probably be a pretty big liability. But are you seeing anything? Is there anything? I just checked the Grove this morning to make sure that this wasn't some kind of scam.
It did kind of feel a little scammy, didn't it? But yeah. It's awesome that it's not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find something that's more theater related, maybe, hopefully.
Are you having any luck?
Did I? There's Zordon.
Well, you rolled a 19. You know there's a cell phone jammer in place. There are some adults with badges around, so you could actually roll to ask someone and use one of the speaking skills. But speaking of which...
I'll use persuasion for that, then.
While you roll persuasion, I will let you know, Quentin, that the Angel Grove theater art scene is very vibrant. because there's a lot of melodrama because of things attacking the city. So if you want to work in a theater program, there are plenty of internship to be had, if not outright jobs. And that 20 in persuasion, I will give you. You hear over a walkie-talkie jump rope before kind of the crackle. And that is all you hear before the person realizes they have not muted. And they scuttle away from you, having given you an unfair advantage over everyone else in your group. We have about 5 minutes left before. So the second event is.
So what did I overhear?
You overheard the words jump rope.
Jump rope.
Jump rope is what you overheard. Would you like to tell anyone that you heard the word jump rope, or would you like to keep the information to yourself?
I'm going to share it because I have no idea really what usefulness it is, I guess. I mean, I didn't plan on jumping rope.
Well, I guess we are now. Cecily's going to try to subtly motion over to everybody else, come here, even though it's not very subtle at all. It's very it's awkward girl trying to not be attention drawing, and she's gonna be like, he got some information, he just heard them say something about a jump rope.
Eddie goes, is that legal? Should we know that?
Well, you can't help what you hear.
That's true.
I haven't jump roped since I was a little kid. This should be interesting.
Brick, you've just heard the words jump rope emphatically by several people.
I did. I think Brick was also maybe talking to some of the college recruiters because he knows them pretty well by now. Because, baseball. So maybe he was trying to get some information out of them as well.
You walk away from the conversation with no information because they know as much as you do, but with 3 promotional coffee mugs from 3 different university programs that all want you in their kind of collegiate baseball teams. So not only have you had breakfast, but you now have a dearth of coffee cups that you're going to have to either babysit or take with you out onto the field because they were very excited to see you.
What'd you guys say? I also imagine that I still have food in my mouth. So I'm like, you guys say something about jump rope?
Yeah, you moved on to the crepe station. There's now a brick crepe station thing going on. It's like a stacker on the plate in a Leaning Tower of Pisa sort of way.
The brick crepe station.
The brick crepe station. You're not the only athlete here, so there are several athletes doing this, and nobody is surprised. They're just So the second event is start shortly. The first event was called the Tire Track, and I'm just recording what group you're in so that I make sure I take it to the second event. So the second event, you've heard the words jump rope, and then La Cienega gets back on the megaphone, and she doesn't give you much more information. You just have to get across the field and take the right path to get there. She didn't really clarify that.
Okay, Hunger Games.
Jane, give me an alertness roll to see how much you understand the thing that you see when the curtain comes back down. Because you're in the first group again.
I got a 19.
Okay, so it's kind of Hunger Games-ish out there. The tires are all gone, so that's one problem down. But now, well, they're not jump ropes. I mean, they are ropes, but there are people lining the track holding these kind of giant jump ropes. And they're making crisscross diamond patterns, except for at the beginning, the middle, and the end of this field. And they are sweeping them back and forth, slowly, rhythmically. And what becomes very evident from the first couple of people to test this out is you're not being timed on this, but if these ropes catch you in the ankle, you will fall. La Cienega does advise, in life, you can make mistakes. So you have 2 attempts that you can make, and on the 3rd attempt, if you fail, you're out. If you haven't reached the end. You notice that the center of the field does not have any of the jump rope things. It's like a little island where nothing is going on that can fit about 4 people. But 4 people out of 50 is not a lot. So I'm not going to tell you, I have an idea of how I want you to roll this, but how do you want to try to get either to the center or work your way to the end of this jump rope tangle mass? And this event, by the way, for all the people in the audience looking at the programs, is just called The Path. So how do you want to get through the path, Jane Russell? Yes, I know, Cecily, don't. It's supposed to be. You look like you were chuckling a little bit.
No, she's just trying to figure it out, making faces.
The path. You're kept back. So you actually aren't going to see it until you don't see the full. You don't see what Jane sees. Jane gets the full enchilada of this. You just see a lot of things swinging back and forth on the field, and you're like, what's going on? But Jane, what role would you like to make to try to get either to the center or to just really barrel forth on this thing here?
And you said there's no time limit, correct?
There's not a time limit, but there are 49 people trying to get to the same place you are. So time is going to eventually be of the essence just based on number.
Okay. Is there a certain number? Can all of us make it on to the next round if we all get through it? Or is there only a certain number of people that can actually move on?
This is going to half your group again.
Okay. I am torn. I think I want to try... Is might an option?
Might includes grappling and martial arts and things strength. If you want to push some people over and just make it through, roll a might.
I feel like this is going to come back to bite me, but...
I mean, it's a 2-year free ride to a college. I haven't said how expensive college is in Angel Grove, but historically speaking, with the price of higher education the way it is, like...
I got a 12.
You got a 12. I will give you halfway for a 12. I'll give you halfway. You are now on the island. Unfortunately, you are the fourth person on the island. So you got to make a quick play or you're going to get shoved right down into the tangled mass. And it doesn't look good for getting back up based upon what you saw happen earlier.
Okay. Can I try might again?
You can try whatever you think is going to get you across the jump rope tangle mess of doom.
Oh, I got a 21.
You got a 21. There was someone right behind you, but they did not time it. In your haste to might, you like somehow timed it between the weaves, and you got to the end in the top 5 of the group. And there's a mighty roaring cheer for you, as though a T-Rex. So you are moving on to the second round, Jane Russell. Okay, and then we're gonna go with Eddie, and Eddie's gonna try, let's see what I got Eddie here. Eddie's gonna try diplomacy. Eddie's gonna try to talk to other people and either confuse them or kind of persuade them to that it's not so bad if they don't make it through. So Eddie gets a 19. So Eddie pretty much doesn't use might, but uses kind of the knowledge of people to make it through, which is really impressive because a couple people definitely went down. Like, things are getting intense out on that field. The more people do it, the faster the people kind of get that are swinging it. They're still keeping pace, but they're really getting into it. The audience is really getting into it. It's kind of a breathless little affair. Cecily.
Yeah.
So you were able to watch Jade might through. You watched Eddie talk their way through. Cecily Adwell, how do you want to do this?
I think I'm going to try to might through.
All right.
That's where my strengths lie, with might.
Give me a might. We'll see if you muscle through a la Jane Russell.
I got a 15.
You get a 15. You get a little over halfway before a couple people are trying to might through with you. I want you to give me an acrobatics or a finesse.
Do finesse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 5.
You get a 5. You stumble. You don't quite fall, but you're a little bit trapped. What do you want to do? You can see the end in sight. This is 2 years or free college. What of your skills do you want to use to make this? Like, you can do this. It's right there. You can taste it.
I want to
take this moment from you.
I want to do another might roll.
All right, give me a might roll.
Because she's going to try to power through this. She's internally giving herself a Shakespearean. I got a 10. You get a 10. Your Shakespearean monologue is overtaken by the voice of your dad in the stand. He's very loud, and he's very proud of you. He's saying huzzah.
Your father in the stand says huzzah, and the huzzah gives you the energy and spirit with the 10. You don't make it in the first 5, but you have made it through the second round, Cecily. And then we come to Quentin. You've watched 2 of your friends might their way through. One only stumbled a little bit, and you watched one talk their way through it. How do you want to get through this tangled mass of jumping?
I'm going to talk my way through it.
All right. Which role are you going to talk your way? Are you going to intimidate? Are you going to distract? Are you going to try to use diplomacy? Are you going to try to romance the people? Because romance is an option in persuasion. That is the thing, people. All right. Give me that diplomacy roll, Quentin Turner. Let's see if you can talk your way through the jump rope. You got an 8.
That was a failure. Never mind.
Yeah, so you had a Skull in your group last time, correct? Was that you, Quentin?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Skull's gunning for you. So Skull makes it their mission to push you down, but you can get back up. You have a couple of flubs here.
I'm just going to try to roll back up if I can.
All right. You can give me whichever speed you think is appropriate for trying to get out of a tangled mass of rhythmic jump rope. You get a finesse, you get a 14. You actually get to the center of it right before Skull does, because in their haste to push people, they were not paying as much attention. I want to give you an opportunity. Do you want to try to push Skull back and basically get them tangled up in the midpoint of the field? All right, that is a yes on pushing. Give me a might, and we'll see if that goes well or if it does not. You know, Zordon's not here. You know, you're still teenagers. There's an attitude part to that. Like, you don't gotta be that friendly.
What roll would you like me to make?
I'd like you to make a might roll, please. Okay, so you try to push, and Skull's already heading, so you don't go butt over tea kettle, but the pushing kind of puts you in danger. Give me a finesse roll to see if you don't go down for a second time. In 19, you don't go down. You know how Brick did that like nice somersault tumbling thing with the tires? You do that with the you make your Yellow Ranger lineage proud with the way you get through this. I want you to give me acrobatics to see how much in the front of your pack you are. Okay, with that 8, it's not pretty, and there's a couple of stragglers that could have beaten you, but Skull is still in, but you're still in, more importantly. And so that's good. You're all still in. This is going much better than I had anticipated. Congratulations, everyone. Let's see if we're going to congratulate Brick. Brick, you've watched 2 might, half an intelligence, and half an acrobatics. How do you want to try to get through this rhythmic jump rope path of doom?
Is there any way I can use my targeting skill?
Are you going to throw something? Because that's what targeting does. Targeting is for throwing.
I mean, like I could throw things at people to knock them out or knock them down, but I don't know how legal that is. I
mean, no one has said it's illegal, but you get the general sense that would be against the rule of essentially Angel Grove Field Day. So you can do it, but you will slowly transform into the villain of the season. People will not enjoy you. You've got scouts in the audience. Bear in mind.
That's true. I don't want to.
Scout sees that. Yeah. That's not going to go great for you.
You're right. Okay.
I like the outside of the box thinking.
I was just trying to look at my best skills and see what I could do. Performance. What does performance entail?
So performance is basically any art that happens. So if you want to make a big show of going through this, trying to get the crowd on your side, you could potentially distract a couple of competitors if everybody's shouting your name.
Okay. And then finesse is just what finesse is.
Finesse includes escape artist, steady action, and martial art. So finesse could work for getting through jump ropes. It's unconventional, but you made some finesse.
I did make some finesses earlier, but how? Okay, let's start with the finesse and go from there.
Okay, let's see. If you do well, you'll get more than halfway. If you let's see how you do with finesse.
14.
You get a 14. The crowd is not chanting your name. Some of the crowd is, but you can't really hear them because other people's names are being chanted. Only Cecily's dad has the huzzah capability to cut through the din of the crowd. But 14, I will give you make it to the diamond. You have a choice here. You see one of your teammates in athletic, who's a little less fortunate than you, but who's actually a better athlete than you on the field. Not that you would admit that to their face. You could help them, could make sure they get through, you could do it together, or you could accidentally sideswipe them a little bit. What do you want to do, Britt Kerrigan?
No, I'm going to help him.
All right, you're going to help them. I want you to roll me an athletics.
21.
21. You know how I said they're a better athlete than you? Mm-hmm. It's because they do more pull-ups. And so they actually help you get to the end. They pay you back in kind. So I'm not going to make you roll for the other half because you go through with your buddy. Your buddy's name, by the way, is Fenwick. You call them Fen. Everyone calls them Fenway, actually, but they've never been to Fenway Park, so it feels a little weird to you. But you help Fenwick.
It's a baseball thing.
It's a baseball thing. It's a
baseball thing.
It's the Brotherhood of Man, but it's the Brotherhood of Baseball. All right. So everyone gets through. And I'm going to move this down to the third event. The curtain comes back down, and it is now Brick Lunch. I guess I'll call it Brick Lunch. You have a little bit of time to rest. If anybody wanted to talk to any of the recruiters, now is a good time because they are starting to pack up. And you might be starting to feel after a couple of physical competitions, maybe it's time for a water break. Maybe you want to rest a little bit. What do you want to do between now and everyone give me an alertness roll, actually. Everyone just give me an alertness roll. We'll see what you notice.
Jane would also like to, her mom and her grandparents, they really want me to do the military thing. But Jane wants to talk to see if there's any art school recruiters.
There's a couple of art schools. There's also the Peace Corps. Peace Corps is here. You can talk to the Peace Corps. So the art school people, there's a couple of different options. So you've got like a visual art. You've also got like a film school. It's really private. It would be out of your price range without winning. And so you can kind of choose what kind of art you'd like. Who would you like to talk to for the art?
Probably the visual.
Okay, so there's a woman, and she's wearing a beret, and her name is also Jane, but it's like Jane from Daria and Jane. She looks like she stepped right out of the cartoon.
That's amazing.
Like, it's the gaze, it's the red jacket, and she's just like, hey, what's up? You make art? You like art?
I do.
What kind of art do you make? What kind of art do you make?
I typically stick with charcoal or paint, but I do also really like... sorry, words failed me.
That's okay. I just got the new asymmetrical bob today. I know. It makes me feel things too. I understand.
I like to create structures is not the right word that I'm looking for. I just spaced all of a sudden and cannot think of the word for like making structures out of like metal.
Okay, yeah. So they don't have a welding program, but they do have a community college metal shop mechanics like crossover program, so you can do that. Jane goes on to explain that there is they have charcoal programs, they also have mural programs, they do have a glazer pottery program, mosaic especially, and this is in hand with the architecture program at Angel Grove University. And this would actually allow you to be in an apprentice program.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I also got a 17 on my alertness.
Great. So we have a 17 from Jane. Eddie got a 12. Cecily got a 2. Quentin got a 15. Brick got a 20. Hey, Brick. The security guards are kind of shady. Like, they all kind of look like same kind of person. They're not really responding to their little walkie-talkie things. They're just kind of walking around, and you go to either refill a plate, use the bathroom, talk to a recruiter that your buddies with you if they're packing up. One of them disappears around a corner and doesn't come back.
Oh no. So I have a feeling like as I'm leaving the thing that we were just doing, I'm having a lot of recruiters trying to talk to me. And I'm noticing the putty kind of go around the corner, and I don't see any of my friends. So I try and shoo them away and head towards where I saw the putty go.
So you get to a portion of the opposite end of the breezeway, but it is cordoned off. So wherever they turn the corner, they either got in a buggy or they started running real fast. Like, it's just, there's nobody there. Jane, you have also noticed the very shady security, but you notice it.
Did I call the security a putty?
You did, but you don't know if they're putties or not. Jane, you actually see other Jane's eyes following the security guard, and she goes, as we conversation, she goes, "That's a bad scene, man. I don't like those guards."
Have you seen something? Do you know anything?
No, they just give me all authority. The establishment just gives me the willies, man. They don't like me, I don't like them. And then Jane is handing you a flyer for her art show that she's doing next month, and it's a retrospective of Jackson Pollock, that if Jackson Pollock were a female.
Thank you for this. I'm gonna fold it up and put it in my pocket.
Yeah. And you swear as you're leaving, you hear la 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 la. But just because I'm such a big Daria fan. But yeah, so Brick and Jane, you've noticed the shady La Cienega, as they're setting up for the third event, lets you know that all the teams are disbanded, and whoever you sit with at lunch is who you're going to be in your next team with. And there are tables that have 5 seats because they're round. So you could all sit together and compete in the third event together if you want. Skull outlasted Bulk. Bulk did not make it, but Skull made it. So they're having a very tearful farewell as people are trying to drag Bulk away because Bulk does not want to go. And yeah, so you can decide how you want to do this, but it's feeling a little empty in the breezeway.
Can I ask maybe one of the, since Brick is so well known throughout the community, is it possible for me to ask somebody if they know the security guards or the 2 other security guards still standing around? Can I ask somebody if they know who they are, if they've seen them before?
You can give me Streetwise. We're gonna put this under gossip.
Where's Streetwise? Hercules.
Streetwise is in social.
At the rising odds.
Yeah, that's like that.
17.
Yeah, one of La Cienega's associates. By the way, maybe you've just been busy, you haven't noticed, there is a giant whiteboard that has been erected, and poor teachers have been recruited to scribble furiously names of students that have passed through, and it's a big production. A couple of students are just standing around watching, munching on chips and popcorn, watching these teachers feverishly write on this giant whiteboard to the side that they don't use for anything else throughout the year. So one of La Cienega's associates goes, "Oh, hey, yeah, no, they're security for the concourse. We always hire them. Has one of them been inappropriate with you in some way?"
Oh, no, I just hadn't seen them around before. I was just wondering if they were new hires or something.
No new hires. Not the last couple of years, not with the hiring freeze. There's going to be lots of opportunities for more recruiting for the Angel Grove Art Festival later this summer, but no, they've been here a while. That's Joe Bob and that's Jim Bob. Just randomly pointing out to 2 of the bald guys. So
cool. Thanks so much.
Yeah. As you're leaving, La Cienega gets back on their megaphone and lets everyone know that they're setting up for the third event still. It's going to be about 10 minutes. So to make sure you're in your group of 5. And La Cienega also lets you know the offer to camp out for the evening on the concourse instead of going home and having to come back at 8:30 for the following day's events is an option if anybody would like to camp on the concourse. That is an option that you have. But question is, Rangers, would you like to compete in the third task together? Oh my God, it's Harry Potter. I created a Triwizard tournament. I didn't plan it, but I did. Would you all like to do the third task together? I promise it's not
as long as one of us doesn't end up being Cedric Diggory.
Nope, no Cedric Diggory's here. I need you all the way to episode 12.
I don't know if I want to compete against you guys.
Are we working together?
Guys, something tells me that there are mysterious things afoot here.
Did you see the sketchy guards too?
I did see the sketchy guards, and that La Cienega Boulevardez is running me the wrong way. So I think somehow we are going to be forced to compete together, and then it's going to be some sort of Rita Repulsa plan again. So let's just stay focused, keep our eyes peeled, and our morphers in hand, okay?
So we should work together. I wasn't paying attention. I was reading this pamphlet about history.
You don't get a heart of the team for that, for a variety of reasons, but also because One, because you're not Morph, but two, because La Cienaga's last name is not Boulevardez. So just letting you know, you wouldn't get a heart of the team anyways. But just to let you know that, but yeah.
It's just during combat, though, isn't it? I can't even do that now.
Yeah, it's true. So
yeah,
okay.
if you think something might happen, I agree. I think we should stick together.
I don't know. My ranger, my pink senses are tingling.
That's good enough for me. I say we stick together.
So one of the handlers comes over and is like, so are you five a group? And they make like that motion where it's like, time to wrap it up. Brick, if you want a last crepe, now is the time to get it.
Yeah, I'm stuffing my face all day. This is what I'm doing.
Okay. So they wrap it up, and then you're all going to be led out on the field together. You are led out in a group, and each group is placed before a blank frame with 20 white pieces laying on top of each other beside the frame. You are instructed not to touch anything before La Cienega has made her announcement. You do have a second to look around and see just how big and full the stadium is, and it is kind of a wonder that Rita hasn't attacked. There are a lot of people here. Like, you don't really get the full scope of Angel Grove, just the amount of people that live in this danger zone. But the whole city does seem to be here. And
must be excellent mortgage prices.
Well, yeah, because houses get stomped on pretty regularly, so there's good insurance and there's not bad mortgage prices. Also, there's a military base, a technology institute. The Natural History Museum rivals the Smithsonian. It's a great place. Except for Rita, it's a great place to raise your kid. Okay.
Can you remind me how long how long has Rita been terrorizing the city?
So the book does not say, but I have decided that she's been around for a couple years. The most of it was putties making mayhem, and they were scary enough. Now that it started to upgrade to like animal creatures, and now that there are Power Rangers, things are starting to get really wild. So for a couple years, she was like here, but it was like one of those weird threats where you never knew. And now it's like, so it wasn't always this way. There was a time when Angel Grove was just like a super cool coastal city, and Angel Grove tries really hard to hold on to that.
Okay, cool.
All right. Okay, and so I want everyone to roll me initiative. Not going to tell you why. Roll me initiative. And tell me what you get.
Oh, Jane got a 20. Oops, sorry.
Okay, Jane got a 20. Brick, what did you get by the snorting?
Oh, good. No way. We get to re-roll because Cecily and I both got ones, which means we have to re-roll.
Yeah.
Because we're tied.
Oh, no.
Well, that's not why you're going to re-roll, but I am going to have you re-roll your one.
Oh, yes. My God. The one time we get the same number. Don't have to.
No, you can re-roll, but you can also keep the one if you want. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, I want to keep the one, Zordon.
No, do you want to keep the one? I don't actually know if you want to keep the one.
Why is it not letting me? Why is it not letting me it's like not letting me do?
Yeah, just roll a d20 because you don't have any skills and initiative. So that's
I don't. I got a 14.
Again, tie.
Now you are going to have to reroll because I do need you to have different initiatives.
I got a 9.
Okay,
better not get a 9.
9 for Cecily.
17.
17 for Brick. We'll see how much you like this 17 because you don't know what you're doing yet. First of all, you're getting sassy there, Brick. It's all the crate is what it is.
I'm sorry.
And I have to do initiative for Ed.
So having a lower number is probably better. I should have kept the 1.
We'll see. You're the one that got all hopped up on what number you should have. You don't even know. So there we go. So Eddie gets 18, and then Quentin's internet cut out. So they'll be back, and I'll let them do initiative. We'll say that Quentin is here for moral support. If anybody does lend assistance or anything like that, then we'll have Quentin be part of that. Lend assistance is one of the options in the Power Rangers game that you can do instead of combat fighting. It's one of several things. Okay, so now you've rolled initiative. I'm going to tell you what your task is. So La Cienega is at her microphone and addresses the crowd with the megaphone and a microphone, which causes a little bit of feedback, but it's fine. So she says, we come to the third event and the final event of today. Please cheer for our remaining remaining competitors who have shown their worthiness in the physical realm. This third competition, traditionally one for the mind today, is a team puzzle challenge. Each team has a similar amount of pieces of white puzzle which will only fit into their frame in one way. Those who will continue on to tomorrow's events will be in the top half to solve it the quickest, and of the bottom half, one wildcard team submission. So to the candidates, do not give up if you are not the quickest. The odds may still be in your favor. It is our joy as the Angel Grove Test Committee for the future of Angel Grove and America Incorporated to host this event each year and to get to know the bright future of those who call Angel Grove home. One more time before I sound this buzzer, let us hear your hope, your devotion, and your love for today's remaining candidate. There's a cheer from the crowd, but it's all muddled, but there is a definite buzz from the audience. And so now you can look at that thing of 20 squares that is on the roll 20. That is what this is for. So you can think about what skills and specializations you want to do, or if you just want to outright guess to try to get the numbers right, you can do that. That will take longer. But Jane, you are up first. How do you want to try to solve this puzzle?
Could I use alertness to try to pay attention to the puzzle pieces to see how they fit together?
Sure, give me alertness.
17.
You got a 17. So there is a little bit of a pattern. And it seems like the complex pieces are right next to easy pieces. So in the case of the game here, lower numbers tend to have a higher number next to them.
Okay.
And I'm going to say move is, instead of traditional combat, I'm going to say that was your combat portion. You can still move. So you could still try to guess and just see if you get one. Or you could
so I
try to
actually
guess.
have to try to figure this out.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is a real puzzle. We're doing this live. If it takes longer than I think it's going to, I'll cut it down so it's not forever. But I want to see if y'all can do this. I'm curious to see how this works.
I just want to give an apology to my teammates ahead of time because I am terrible at puzzle solving. So, so are we trying to fit the squares into each other, or is it like a puzzle where the pieces fit together?
So it's a puzzle where the pieces fit together. In this case, you have 20 different boxes, and each of those boxes has a randomized number 1 through 20. So the first box that you see there, the box number 1, has another number attached to it, and that number is the solving. So say if box number 1 is number 10, then you've solved that piece of the puzzle.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said the smaller numbers typically have a bigger number next to them, correct?
That is true.
Okay. I am going to just guess 1 and 13.
Do you think number 1 is number 13?
Yeah. No. Brick is saying no, so I'm going to say no.
Brick, are you going to lend assistance to this? Is that what you're going to do?
No. Well, okay. I only said that only because I see a little number 1 next to the number 1 in the box.
Oh, no, that's just because that was me trying to figure out how big the fonts.
Can I ask you a question about this puzzle?
You can always ask a question, yes.
Does the placement of the number in the box mean anything?
No, that's just where it landed because
that's
of
just how it happened.
That's just how it rolled. Oh.
Okay. I guess number 1 continue. I don't. Okay. Can you one more time explain this puzzle to me, please?
Yeah, so basically you have 20 doors, and each door, numbers 1 through 20, the numbers 1 through 20 have been scrambled, and they are behind one of the doors. And so number 1 is going to be a number 1 through 20. Number 2 is going to be a different number 1 through 20, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And basically,
is this like a match game? Is this like a concentration? I
mean, in game, it's a puzzle and they're all puzzle pieces, but I didn't have the technology or wherewithal how to do that. So I'm basically doing it. I used a D20 to randomize where the numbers would be, but it did end up in a certain path though.
Okay, so it's not like there's two. Okay. No. Every door has another number 1 through 20 behind it, right?
Yeah.
Are they all different numbers 1 through 20, or are some of them the same?
None of them are the same. They're all different.
Okay.
Jane, would you like to do your 1?
Oh, right. Jane is doing her thing, right? I'm sorry.
And you can guess.
We have
more
to
than
start
that.
somewhere, so I feel like we have to start somewhere. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 13. 1 and 13.
1 is not 13. It is lower than 13. 13 did not fit.
Okay.
Do we have to? Are we putting these doors in order? Do we have to open the doors in the correct order?
No, you just need to guess the correct number, essentially. I've tried to make this either. I feel like I workshopped this and it worked better in my brain, but we're doing it and we're doing it live. And if it starts to drag on, I'll quicken it. So it's not a.
Okay. What did our initiative numbers have to do with this?
That's the order you're going, so it's not absolute chaos.
Oh, never mind.
Yes. I really wanted it to not be chaos. So Jane, you were incorrect. Eddie is going to just roll a d20, 17. So Eddie figures out that numbers 11 and 12 are 17 and 1.
Does Jane know what number is behind 1 after guessing and getting it wrong?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
No. And you can look at various skills. You can talk me really into anything. So, Brick, it is your turn if you can think of a skill that would help. Or you could distract teams around you, or you could look at other teams. It's not cheating. No one has told you can't look at other teams' things to see where they get it from.
Sure. Can I throw anything?
You could throw pieces up on the board. You can try targeting and just throw something up on the board, see if it sticks, because everything is going to notch in a different place. So
okay. I guess is there? It's just a guessing game, right?
I mean, it's a guessing game, but you have other skills. So you have social skills, you have skills of observation. You are on a field with other team, and
okay.
Yeah,
I thought we were all competing. Okay, so all the teams are here together.
I mean, you all have different. All the puzzles are similar. They have the same puzzle you do. This is as much about time as it is about accuracy. So
great. I'm gonna roll alertness. I'm gonna see if I can, if I hear anything, or if I can come up with any sort of idea. 14.
You got a 14. Okay. So speaking of box 14, you toss this because you notice it next to you. You toss number 20 and it lands, and then next to it you notice this, you make a little cascade down. So you managed to get a couple of them. You make a nice little picture now. It's not a picture of Rita. It's not going to turn into a puzzle monster, I promise. That would have been a better idea. But yeah, so...
Is there a pattern to this?
We'll find out if there's a pattern to this.
Okay.
Cecily,
can I roll to find out if there's a pattern to this?
You can roll. We'll say your alertness was removed. You can roll survival, especially if you have cartography.
I was going to ask if survival is something that would be useful here. But then I was like, probably not.
It never hurts to ask.
Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I got an 8.
You got an 8. So that did not impart any wisdom to you. But you've got a couple teams ahead, but there are some teams that are just puzzled. And there is one particular team that is just yelling at each other across the field. All right. And then we're going to have Jane, we're going to go to you again. No, Cecily goes.
Yeah, I was going to use a performance check to kind of distract people while other people kind of came up with more of a plan.
Okay, give me a performance check.
Because I'm about to just do a monologue to see how much I can get other people just to stare at me and be like the weird girl.
Sure. You got a
15.
What monologue are you doing?
I'm doing Phoebe the Sheep Queen's monologue from As You Like It. Okay. I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou tell'st me there's murder in mine eye. 'Tis pretty sure and very probable that eyes, which are the frailest and softest of things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, could be called tyrants, butchers, or murderers. And it goes on.
Yeah, so a couple people drop pieces, and a couple people cannot Like you are being stared at. But that's what you wanted. And because this is time, but it's not. It's going to be who gets in the half. I'm going to say that bought you enough time that 3 of those puzzle pieces just time-wise, I'm going to give you 3 of those pieces.
Oh, cool. Okay. And Cecily's going to go, "You're welcome," to the rest of her group.
Oh, it's so good. See, you just got to figure out what skill you want, and you got to go for it. Okay, and so then we are back at the top of the round. Jane, what are you thinking?
And this is not a very Red Ranger of me, I know, but I would like to intimidate the group that has the most, that looks like they have the most, into telling me some answers.
Okay, give me an intimidation. It's all competition. Nobody said you couldn't be an intimidating ranger.
A 10?
I mean, you're kind of intimidating. It's intimidating enough. I will give you one puzzle piece for that. Yeah, because this is about life and how you win it. So it's not necessarily about the puzzle itself. Okay. So Eddie is going to try to do something clever. They're going to try to pog it. I remember they had pogs, so they're going to try to pog a piece and see if they can get it. Sadly, it does not work in their favor to pog a piece, but they tried. It was something new, and they wanted it to... Brick, it is your turn again. You're doing pretty good. You're getting there.
Yeah. You said all these numbers were just randomly D20'd, right? To go behind them.
Yep.
What is the number? What is 3's actual number?
12.
Okay. Can I ask a question? Am I thinking way too hard about this?
You are.
Okay, great. It's just I get so like when puzzles and things are involved, I get so focused and like competitive about it almost.
I mean, you are technically in a competition in the Angel Grove universe.
Right, like I want to figure it out.
Lives. So yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that you have a ton of skills in smart or in social. You could talk me into anything. It's how would Brick solve this? Like, this is not really about the puzzle. It really is about how you solve things and how others watch you solve things and how badly you want 2-3 years of college.
See, I feel like Brick is probably kind of the same way. I feel like he gets really like focused and competitive about like small. So I feel like he's just like staring at this puzzle, like what is the thing here? And I think he is gonna use his. These are numbers. Wait, okay. These are numbers that fit into the doors, or what are these exactly?
So the idea is that the numbers represent the puzzle piece, and each number only happens once. So each piece of the puzzle only fits in one way.
Okay, so these are physical puzzle pieces.
Yes, you are on a field, survival style, or Amazing Grace style, I guess, more like, and you have 20 giant puzzle pieces that need to go in a giant frame, and they only go in one way.
How giant are we talking?
Like, I mean, for you, it's not giant. Yes, you can throw them if you would like. If you would like to target and tell me which one you're targeting, I will let you. I will let you volley shot and give you multiple pieces if you want. You can totally target it. That's fine.
I was hoping I could just throw them at the board and it was like.
If you roll well enough, I'll give it to you. Yeah, use your skill.
Sure, I'm gonna use targeting to throw and see if anything sticks.
You got a 15. Where were you concentrating at? What part of the board?
We don't have a lot of information about this top section.
Were you concentrating on that one? Were you concentrating on 5?
Oh, let's go for 1.
Okay, you were concentrating on 1, and because you got a 15, I'll give you 2 as well. So I know that you wanted 1 to be 13, Jane, but it was actually 2.
So close.
So close to 13. 2 and 13 are very close in that they are both numbers. Yeah, but there, you've targeted. You're one step closer to success than you were before. And Cecily, it is your turn. Quentin is just being helpful.
Great. Cecily's going to try to see if anybody else has figured anything else out that would help them from like another team. in kind of like a stealthy little way.
You can either give me streetwise for gossip, or you can give me infiltration and literally go over and stand behind another team.
Ooh, let's do infiltration.
Okay, give me an infiltration. Got an 18.
18.
There was a team working backward, and so you've got the whole bottom row out of that.
Perfect. And with a toss of her red hair, she goes, "You're welcome," again. Like, this is... She's like being the weirdest way of helping, but this is how she's helping.
You know, it's whatever it takes to solve this puzzle. It's like Wheel of Fortune, you know? Okay, and so that's going to go all the way back to Jane.
Could I mite the pieces together?
You can mite to see. Yeah, you roll a mite and let me know which two pieces next to each other you want to see if they fit.
I got a 6. Can I use a story point to re-roll that?
You can. If you haven't used a story point in the scene, you can re-roll with story point.
A 17.
Got a 17. Which two would you like to fit together?
16 and 9.
Oh, you have to do them right next to each other.
Oh, okay, sorry. 16, 15 then, yeah.
And you can always ask if you can't tell what my handwriting is doing, because I'm just cursoring this so it looks like me using a chalkboard. But you're doing pretty good. Look at that. There's a cheer from the audience. The first group has solved the first group, and there's one group that is very close behind. So the cheers are definitely there. If you have trouble thinking, it's not going to get any easier for you. Eddie is going to attempt. I'm going to give Eddie a technology roll and have it be kind of like a search program, but in their brain. Okay, with a 12, Eddie says, "It seems to me," and then Eddie correctly gets, I'm going to give Eddie 9 because that was something that we're working on. Can't see that at all. It's a square 9. Oh, right. Okay, Brick, you're getting there, but teams are starting to solve it. What do you want to do?
I notice some of my other baseball boys on other teams, and I'm going to use my streetwise to schmooze them into giving me some answers.
For schmoozing, you're going to want persuasion.
Perhaps schmooze was the wrong word.
Yes. What do you want to attempt? Because schmoozing is going to be flattery, diplomacy, and embellishment, which is all under persuasion.
Just what does streetwise encompass?
Streetwise encompasses the black market, locating crime, listening to gossip, and transportation.
Okay. Maybe I overhear. No, you know what? Let's stick with persuasion. I think that's a bad idea. I should switch those points in case. Okay. 12.
Get a 12. Okay, with 12, I will give you 2 pieces. What would you like for your 2 pieces that you garner in your information? From your bros that were like, yeah, we wanted you on your team, but we couldn't find you. So which pieces would you like to take
5
information
and 6.
for? 5, and that was an 18, by the way. That 18 looks really bad. Cecily, it is your turn. You're almost done, but there are cheers going up, and you got a couple squares left.
I feel like I've distracted and weaseled my way into getting things taken care of pretty well up until now. I would like to try to use, looking at my sheet, I would like to use, I'd like to use something so that I can deduce the final answers. Like, I don't know what that would be a roll for. Like using my brain.
All right. So anything with brain is really going to be smarts. And I would say for deduction, you could either do technology, as in you're searching, trying to fit them together. Survival would give you cartography, specific environment patterns. You could do a culture to see if you could historically, maybe there was a puzzle that looked similar to this.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to see if there's something in deep within the recesses of my ginger little brain that maybe...
Like if you do really well, maybe it looks like a chessboard you saw on a play once.
Yeah, and I got a 21.
You got 21, so I'm going to give you those last 2 with your 21. And I'm going to put those in the completionist in me. So... you were not the first team to finish, but the 5 of you working together, maybe not your proudest moments, but you accomplished the task, and you're definitely going to the 4th round, which happens the next morning. The question is, between now and then, what do you want to do? Is there anything you want to do?
So just to reiterate, there was no actual puzzle for us to solve in this, right? This was all just random and like.
I mean, I didn't have time to make like a puzzle flash game, so you could tell me where to put the pieces.
I'm just making sure because I'm still looking at this. Like, is there something behind this? So I just want to hear it from you that it's just random numbers and I'm not stupid. Just tell me I'm not.
It's random numbers and you're not stupid, but there are patterns in it, but don't go looking for them too hard. We're past the puzzle game. The puzzle game is over. Just if you need to just stop looking at it, you totally can. But now it is night, and you can go home and get some rest. I'll do that for your peace of mind, Brick. I'll just clear it so you don't have to look at it anymore. So you can go home and get rest. You can camp out on the concourse. You've got sketchy security guards. Rita has an attack. Maybe she's not going to. Then you've got 2 more events tomorrow that you don't know what they are. They could be anything.
Are we all camping out together?
I'm an excellent camper, and I'm really good at setting up tents and stuff, so I would love to camp.
They will need to be stakeless tents, by the way.
Okay, that's fine. I have like a pop-up.
I think we should.
I'm a terrible camper, but I think that with the sketchy guards and everything, I think we should stay.
I'm thinking the sketchy guards are something we should look into.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do some streetwise gossip overhearing about La Cienega. I don't trust her.
I mean, you're on the field, you're not in the breezeway, so your phones will work. For those who have attempted to use their phones and found out there was a cell blocker, there isn't one on the field, so you have those options. Your baseball bros would like you to hang out with them, Brick, but you are not contractually obligated to travel in the athlete class, so you can do as you so wish. What would you like to do? Please declare your role, and I'll let you know.
I'm gonna say I'm sorry to my base bros. I've got some studying to do.
They take your free mugs that you got from the recruiter.
Yeah, here, take all my stuff. And I'm gonna go. Are there other guards around?
Yeah, there are just some people hanging out, making sure you don't trip in the dark, making sure you don't start running around and vandalizing the concourse. It's a big concourse. You could get lost. It's possible.
Okay. Maybe do I see those guards around anywhere? The weird ones.
Yeah, they just don't stop walking. For being slightly out of shape, they like walking quite a bit. They seem to be making a loop.
Are they saying anything?
They have said nothing to anyone.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go and see if I can find some other guards that aren't the weird ones, and see if I hear any gossip about the weird ones from them, streetwise.
And give me some streetwise to listen to that sweet, sweet gossip.
19.
You get 19. You hear that Jim Bob and Joe Bob are kind of weird, but they're not weird in a malevolent way. Nobody has ever really had a problem with them. They aren't new. They're just weird.
Okay, I'm gonna use my small town roots, grew up in Angel Brew, ability to ask questions on 2 different choices. One of my questions is this a red herring?
Yes, it is a red herring. If you were to have followed them, you would find that they've just been breaking into the food shack and snarfing down the donuts. They're just weird. They're just weird security guys.
They're just weird. Okay.
Yeah, they were just there to make you nervous.
Well, they did a good job.
They did.
But now there's a whole bunch of teenagers in the middle of the night at the concourse with very few supervision, and Rita Repulsa does live on the moon. So your suspicions are not unwarranted in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, I guess we should just kind of hang out and see if anything happens throughout the night, just to keep an eye on everybody.
Yeah.
Unless anyone else has any other ideas or wants to do anything.
I feel like we should be in shifts, because if all of us don't sleep, nobody's going to be winning tomorrow. And I would like to win. I'm a little competitive.
Agreed.
What order would you like your shifts to go in?
I'll take the first shift if nobody else wants it.
Initiative.
Nope, I'm going to let you all decide this for yourself.
Yeah, I'll volunteer to take the first shift.
Okay. Jane, while you're on the first shift, a girl that you don't know from Angel Grove Prep offers you an extra sandwich from her bag. The subtext being that she's very rich and you're from Angel Grove High.
Thanks. I don't know how I would have fed myself if you had not have given me this. So thank you so much for sharing with me.
I want you to give me a deception roll.
This should be great because I do not have any points in deception. Oh, I got a 12.
Yeah, she's definitely the ambassador of a group of preppy snob kids that are pointedly looking at the sandwich and you and your not I don't know what you're dressed in, but whatever you're dressed in is not fashionable enough.
Oh yeah, I'm just wearing like some yoga pants and just plain black yoga pants and a t-shirt. I didn't expect to have to go to a fashion show.
Yeah. She wishes you good luck in that way that upper class people wish you good luck, which is really fall down a well. But because you got a 12, I'm not going to make you like take damage. But you do have the sandwich now, so that's
Can
nice.
I check the sandwich to make sure there's nothing gross in it? Like, I don't know. I want to make sure like they didn't spit in it or put like a bug in it or something mean like that.
So you can either do alertness, survival, or performance, because performance includes culinary arts. Or you
I'm
could
gonna
ask.
do that because I have the specialization in culinary arts.
Okay, give me a culinary art.
A 10? I'm all crappy.
Oh, did it roll? Because it didn't show me.
Oh, it rolled for me. It rolled a 10.
Okay, well, you got a 10. 10 is enough. There is ghost pepper slices on this sandwich.
That's horrible.
Yeah, they like if you had eaten the sandwich, like that would have been a bad night and a bad day for you.
And I don't know if I can do this, but I would like to stand up with the sandwich in my hand, and I want to try to intimidate them. Basically, I want to try to stare at them as I walk to the trash can and throw the sandwich away.
You can give me an intimidation, especially if you have frightened, and I will give you a intimidation check where you're just giving them. We call this colloquially a hairy eyeball where I'm from. And a hairy eyeball is when you're just giving someone that I know what you did, church lady judgment stare.
I got a 7.
They break out into laughter. Peals of high-pitched, like Mountain Caramel from Glee laughter, where it's no good. But luckily, the rest of your shift is uneventful as you provided their amusement. But in reward for dealing with that, there is a really cool group of Angel Grove Marijuana Appreciation Society that's playing Happy Sack. So you get to watch a really intense game of Happy Sack because for some reason, they were really good at the 3 challenges. Like they weren't even trying. But the Angel Grove High Marijuana Appreciation Society, which they do only legally, plays hack. So yeah, that was your shift. It quiets down a little bit into the more closer to overnight hours. Brick or Cecily. Eddie offers to take that shift, but Eddie is tired, so you'd actually be doing Eddie a favor.
Yeah, I think Cecily is going to offer to go next.
Hey, Cecily, give me a culture roll.
Culture roll. We got a 15.
You get a 15. You get a sense that your talents are going to be very important tomorrow.
Ooh. Nice.
Depending upon choices you made. You've made some interesting choices today. Your Morphin coin is trying to figure out how it feels about all the distraction. But you get a sense that tomorrow is going to be a good day for you.
Exciting because it's about working smarter, not harder.
It's about working smarter, not harder. You also, while you are, you have some time, so you're cruising Grove, and you start to notice that there's kind of a pattern for day 2. There's only 2 events left. And so day 2 is going to definitely have, there's a physical challenge, but it's not about the physicalness of it. And then a challenge that's based around your skill set, based around performance, essentially. And that's all you can gather, but that's kind of what you gather.
Okay. Mentally, I'm just going over could I pull out a 17th century ballad out of nowhere? Yes, we've got we've got the skills. We've got it. We're ready.
It could happen.
Yeah, so I'm ready to give a remarkable performance in Old English if need be.
And Brick is going to take over the shift from you in the very early morning hours. Brick, give me an alertness roll.
Okay. I feel like he's probably a little groggy.
We'll see how your grogginess serves you. I'm not going to make you do this with the snag, but you're the only one awake.
13.
Yeah, about 10 minutes before everybody else notices, you hear the sound of sprinkler heads popping up. So you have about 10 minutes to get everybody awake and get the tents off the field because they offered you the space, but they forgot to shut off the sprinklers on the concourse for the evening. And that's real grass. How would you like to wake up your compatriot? How many people would you like to wake up? Would you like to wake up everybody?
I think I'm gonna try and wake up my team, and because I think I'm gonna try and wake up my team, and we're gonna use Cecily's. Maybe does Cecily have a tarp with her? Did she bring a tarp because she's so good at camping? You're muted.
Oh, because your mic is on. No, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I have like a tarp because you have to have a tarp to lay down a tent.
Can we put the tarp above us so that we don't? Oh wait, no, it's not rain.
It's sprinklers from the ground.
Sprinklers. Okay.
So you can put it up, but it will have the hilariously opposite results. I want you to give me a persuasion to see if you are able to wake up Cecily in time. Or Jane. Give me a persuasion to see if you wake anybody up.
Yeah,
12.
She takes sleepy time tea.
Yeah, you wake up Jane. Cecily took sleepy time tea, but you woke up Jane.
What? Are we being attacked? What's going on?
The sprinklers are turning on. We're gonna get wet.
Hooray!
It's like 3 a.m, so I don't know how sarcastic that hooray is, but it's not warm anymore.
Should we try and move or should we just get wet?
I think we should try to at least get our people up and out of the way. Forget everybody else.
Dang.
I'm going to have you subtract a story point for that, actually.
Wow. Yeah, very unranger of you.
I was just thinking about the ghost pepper.
You all came really close to line, but that was definitely not rangery. I'm not like, there's not going to be a further penalty for it, but that was definitely like,
fair enough.
Yeah. But Jane and Brick, you are up. Eddie and Quentin both decided they wanted to be at home in preparation for tomorrow, or rather, Quentin's family was very adamant he go home. And Eddie didn't have it. So it's really the three of you. But Cecily, you have not been woken up yet. But you're about to be woken up by sprinkler water. How good is your like? It's a pup tent, but how solid is your pup tent?
It's not very solid. It's not meant to be like a. It's like it's waterproof because every tent should be waterproof. Okay.
So,
but like it's like small.
Here's the thing is that it's not the water that's the issue with the sprinkler going on. I mean, it is, but it's the amount of pressure and the fact that they're right beneath at least where at least one of your tent things is. So give me acrobatics, Cecily.
She's going to be so grumpy. Sorry, our cats decided to fight. I got a 5.
You got a 5. You wake up and your tent has tilted on its side and you are groggy from sleepy time too.
Oh, she is going to, I'm going to be like, what is going on? Is this like a prank? Like what's happening? And she's going to like roll out of her tent and be like, oh no.
You hear like 3 or 4 girls screaming in that kind of high-pitched way and that nobody expected the Spanish Inquisition, but it was with sprinklers.
Okay. She's gonna try to like inch out of like, she's like still in like the little tent, but it's like stakeless, so she could probably like find a way to like wiggle her way to the edge of the field.
Give me another acrobatics while you're wiggling out of your tent. And Jane and Brick, you can see this, by the way. You don't have to be.
I got a 23.
I didn't know if we could like be doing stuff doing this.
No, you can totally.
Is there a way I can find out where the sprinklers are and shut them off? Or is this kind of like a wait till it goes away sort of thing?
You can always look for something. Give me a survival. I'll call that cartography. Cecily, you barely avoid a jet of sprinkler water going up your nose. That 23 kept you from that happening.
Wow.
And you're also going to notice, Cecily, that the sprinklers do not water the clay track. So there is some dry, it's just not grass. And Brick, with your 20, you get one of the people that's there watching out for you that is as surprised as you, and they help you find the box where the sprinkler system is, but it is locked with a lock that no one has a key to.
Can I break it?
Not without being kicked out of the competition and maybe possibly having something on a juvenile record for
here
destroying. Skull decided to withdraw from the competition because Bulk was not with him.
Can I give them my spot?
You cannot, because they are gone.
There's
a system. So.
Okay. Does the box have wires coming out of it?
One really big metal wire that goes up and far away.
Okay. I'm gonna try and help get everyone from their tents to the clay, to the track, so that no one else gets wet.
Well, there you go. And by the time everyone is back onto the clay track, the sprinklers have gone off. But half of everyone is soaked in some karmic retribution. Jane, the prep girls that tried to murder you with ghost peppers, all got water in their freshly dyed hair, and so they look like the girl from The Ring, but in high fashion clothes.
I would like to try to find like some towels, like paper towels, regular towels, anything that I can use to pass out to help people dry off.
Sure. Go ahead and look for those with alertness.
12?
One of the bathrooms has been equipped with Angel Grove water and paper-saving technology, so it had those blaster heat hand deals, but one of them has paper towels in it. So there are paper towels. They are not the best in the world, but they are better than being wet for too long. And as you're going to get them, it's breakfast time. People have come to set up for day 2 food. It's the same amount, same type of food, but it's less because there's less of you now. And the competition, it's really, by the time you're having breakfast and you're on the breezeway, it's groggy, and there's lots of coffee, by the way, lots of good coffee. You really notice how less people are. And by the time La Cienega gets there at 8:30, La Cienega tells you, doesn't even need a megaphone this time, but says all the groups are disbanded. The last 2 events are solo events because there can be only one winner. And Quentin and Eddie both show up, and they're going to compete as well, but they're not going to win because they're not here to win, unfortunately, because one of them would need them to be physically present for. But that's okay. Gonna make it okay. So you are all escorted out on the field at about 9 a.m. No one has apologized for the sprinkler system, by the way. And there is a cargo net that is set up. And there are, the cargo net is about 70 feet tall. And La Cienega makes a little bit of a speech. And at the end of the speech, she says, the word of the morning is perseverance. Perseverance. What you need to do is you need to get up this cargo net. This was my event when I did this, and this is all about perseverance. And I am going to keep the same order of operations here. And so about 5 people are just going to go to time because that's how many people can just get up onto them. But Jane, you're going to attempt this first. What would you like to do?
And I'm sorry, you said I have to do what? I have to get up the cargo net? Is that correct?
You have to get up the cargo net.
Okay. I don't know that I can mite up the cargo net, so I guess athletics?
You cannot mite up the cargo net, that is correct. Give me an athletics roll, please, for climbing.
19?
19. The moment before you step on to climb, you just get out of the way of the water balloon, just in time, from one of the 6 people up at the top of the cargo net throwing down water balloon.
Oh, gosh.
I'll get you about 10 feet up the cargo net. So you are now 10 feet up the cargo net. Rick, you have just seen water balloon.
Yes.
And there is a 70-foot cargo net.
Yes.
Are the people throwing the water balloons, are they, how do you say?
They are not putties, if that's what you're asking.
No, I'm over the putties. I've realized that this is something different.
Well, maybe it's different. Never give up hope.
No, I feel like never mind. Are the people who throw in the water balloons, are they people that are like working for the thing, or are they like other competitors?
Give me intimidation. Give me an intimidation roll.
Okay. 16.
16. These are chosen champions a la American Gladiators. You recognize two of the past winners because one of them is the sports announcer for RTN5, local Angel Grove TV.
Okay. They're throwing water balloons at us. Is there any way, as I'm climbing, I can catch one of the water balloons and perhaps throw it back or stop it from?
Those are going to be two separate rolls. So do you want to attempt to do that first and then climb? Or do you want to climb and try to catch?
I'm going to climb and try
All right.
to catch.
Okay, Miley Cyrus, give me that athletics roll because she wrote the song "The Climb." That's a throwback.
11.
An 11 is going to get you up under the cargo net in a different space than Jane, but you are going to get whopped with a water balloon because that 11 is not going to be enough.
Darn. Okay. Is it too late for me to be the heart of the team?
You're not morphed. You're not in combat. You have to be the head of the team. Cecily, it's going to be your turn, and I'm gonna throw Eddie back in here because I am rolling for Eddie today. I'm gonna roll for Eddie and for Quentin to see if I can get any of them up here being the final five. So let's have Cecily go, and then I'll.
Cecily is gonna. She's gonna try to she's gonna be pulling kind of like some moves to try to make it look like she's a little weaker than she is, so that maybe people will let her get around that.
Give me a deception roll. We'll see if people take your acting to heart.
Why is it not? I'm just gonna roll a d20 because it apparently doesn't like me. I got a 12.
We got a 12. No one cares. People are now fighting for it. So you gave it a good shot, but you don't end up with the water balloon in the face, but you almost did. You can still attempt to climb, but now you're going to have to do it with a snag.
Okay, I would like to climb.
Athletics with a snag.
13.
13. Okay, I'm gonna give you 13 feet. Actually, is what I'm gonna do. You're just a little bit ahead of Jane and Britt. Eddie is going to attempt, having seen all that. Eddie's actually gonna try to be chivalrous and take a water balloon for someone else. So I'm gonna roll their broad. Okay, and with that 10, Eddie's going to be right up there with y'all. And then Quentin is going to fumble and get tangled up in the nut a little bit. They didn't get a good enough night's sleep, had too big a breakfast. They're fumbling a little bit at the bottom. And we're going to go back to the top of the round, and we're going to start again with Jane. Jane, you are 10 feet up the 70-foot cargo net.
Jane is in front of me, right?
Yes, Jane is 20, and Brick, you had a 17 initiative. So yeah, Jane is close enough to
on
you.
The ladder,
Jane is close enough to you that you can say something. You're not quite close enough to reach, though. You can try if you want on your turn, though.
I just didn't know if I was. I'm sorry. I'm interrupting your turn. Please go.
No worries. I am gonna try good old athletics again.
All right, give me an athletic.
A 13?
A 13 is enough to get you, I'll give it to you, to 30 feet. There is a little bit of a curve happening now with the weight of the people trying to get up. So it's going to get harder from here, but you're at 30 feet, so you're not quite halfway, but you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing. You should be very proud of yourself. Cargo nets are very difficult historically. Britt.
So where am I in relation to everything?
You are 10 feet off the ground, so you're doing okay. You're kind of in the shark zone right now. There are a lot of people around you, so you're either going to want to pull through the pack, or you're going to want to send up somebody you want to see win and cheer them on. And that's kind of up to you. It's kind of up to you how important it is to you to win this, and how much you just want to give a good show, and how much you want to uplift someone else.
Can I help Quentin up since he's He's struggling.
You can totally help Quentin up.
How would I do that?
I'm going to give you an unconventional lend assistance. I want you to roll a d20, and then whatever score you get, I'm going to give +5 to that.
I got a 20.
So you help Quentin
17.
get up to... I'm going to round that up, and I'm going to say you help Quentin get up 20 feet. That'll leave you back down there. Cecily, there are people nipping at your heels. You just saw Brick help Quentin.
Okay. I'm a little bit. I was a little bit higher than everybody. I think I'm gonna try to pull ahead. Just climb up a little bit more as much as I can, because I figure if I get up high enough, I'll be able to help people out.
Which would be fine, except give me an acrobatics check.
Oh, can I re-roll? I haven't used a re-roll.
Yep, you can use a story point to re-roll.
Because I got a 4.
Yeah. So that 4, you're not going to fall back too far, but your foot gets tangled a little bit, and you are trapped, and you are now also wet because a water balloon hits you dead on your forehead. And you were dry finally. You were dry, and you were warm, and you were getting over the sprinkler thing. And Eddie is going to attempt a finesse to try to throw back a water balloon from where they're at. We're going to see how they do. Eddie beams one of the people that is throwing. Brick, this is the sports announcer from the TV station. Who also, by the way, does not think you are as cool as the other people, so has made some not derogatory, but some kind of snide comments about your baseball skills. So Eddie whipping him back with a water balloon is not the worst thing in the world to have witnessed. But Eddie scuttles up to about 30 feet. So Jane, you can see Eddie out of the corner of your eye. And then Quentin is going to attempt... Quentin cannot get out of the shark, cannot seem to get higher. Like the shark pile just keeps seeming to get to Quentin. So they're kind of stuck at 20 feet. And we're going to go back up to you, Jane.
I'm gonna do athletics again. See if I can make it a little bit more up this cargo net.
Give me athletics. Sure.
Right. 15?
15. That water balloon came really close to your head, but you're doing okay. The way the cargo net bent in actually kind of helped a little bit. But yeah, you made it up 45 feet. You're getting there, and you don't have very much competition now. Brick, do you want to help Quentin again, or what are you looking to do? You do have some people that are fellow athletes that you know from Angel Grove that kind of just want to win for the honor of it. They're not actually, it's not really an opportunity for them.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I can, how tall is this cargo net?
70 feet.
So Jane's more than halfway.
Jane is more than halfway there, but the closer you get, the easier it is to get hit with water balloons.
Right. I'm wondering if I can kind of do a similar thing to what Eddie did and catch some balloons and maybe try and help some, or try and clear the way for other people.
Give me a targeting, because you're good at this. So...
Oh, and can I use volley shot to shoot 2 water balloons?
Sure.
13.
You hit that sports announcer in the face as well. But because you're a baseball player, that's a bit of a sting with it. So they're actually out now. So now there are only 5 people throwing water balloons, and you sent one out of commission for even just a moment because your aim is good enough. I will give you that was 13.
Can I climb at all?
I will give you a climb because targeting is something you're very known for. So I'll give you an athletics for climbing. Yeah, I'll give it to you.
I just feel like the closer I am to everybody else, the better I'd be able to help them get up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the bottom of the cargo net is kind of a carnage of water that is turning into a little bit of a slurry of mud, and people that are desperately trying to get back up and even kind of pull others off. And so you don't really, it's not a battle, but like at this point, you'd have to do something really great to kind of get up there to help out. Not saying you won't, I'm just saying the odds are a little bit against you right now. Cecily, give me a finesse.
Finesse. Let's finesse. 13.
The water balloon misses.
Good. Okay. So where am I at? I'm like kind of.
Yeah, you're not quite halfway.
Okay.
But you are not like the water balloon is not a problem right now. So
okay. Cool. I'm just gonna go for acrobatics again and try to get up more.
Athletics is going to be a straight climbing.
Oh, then I'll do athletics.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot. I got a 5.
5, yeah.
Cecily is trying, but it's not going to happen.
Give me acrobatics. Someone has just grabbed your leg. Give me acrobatics.
Well, I'm good at kicking. I'm good at punching too. I got a 16 in acrobatics.
You don't need to kick them. They did not keep purchase. Okay. So you didn't get any closer, but you are not farther away, which is good. Cool. Okay, so with Eddie is going to try to finesse their way up the wall. Let's see how Eddie does. Eddie didn't do very well. They got a little farther, but they're kind of stuck in that portion of it in the center where it's kind of bending in, as cargo nets do. And we're going to go back up to Jane.
Gonna keep trucking along with athletics.
Trucking along.
Oh no, I got an 8 this time.
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna let you. That 8. I'm gonna give you. If you can give me a high alertness, give me an alertness to see if you can salvage this 8. Nope.
No, I got a 4.
You're gonna stay where you are.
Okay.
At 45. Brick, give me an alertness roll.
5.
You don't notice it, but what would you like to do?
Keep climbing, I suppose.
Athletics. All right. Give me an athletics.
21.
With such a good success, I'm going to let you get up to where I'm going to let you stop at Cecily and decide, would you like to lend assistance to get Cecily up higher?
I would like to help Cecily get higher, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Give me an athletics, and Cecily, I will give you this athletics.
11.
All right, 11. What was that?
Cecily got a 19.
All right, so Cecily, with Brick's help, you get up to about where Jane was. You get it to about 30 feet. I'll give you 30 feet. Cecily, give me an alertness roll.
10.
Well, there's no more water balloons. They ran out of water balloons, but you're not close. You're not close enough that you can see the other thing that's happening. All right, so we're going to do one final roll to see who gets up in what order. So everybody give me a D20.
Got a 12.
I got a 5.
16 for Jane.
Cecily, you got a 5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't all make it to the top in order to be in the top. What happens is that Jane, Quentin, and in spite of your best efforts at helping others, Britt, you are 3 of the top 5 to the top of the cargo nets, and so you'll be advancing to the final round. And the final round is a debate, essentially.
Dang it.
Well, let's just see. So there is a stage that was being erected while the water balloon cargo net chaos was going on. And there's chairs for each of you. The other 2 people, you guys don't know very well. One of them is wearing like a Down with Authority 60s punk style t-shirt, like they're in a rock band maybe. And then there's just like this kind of quiet kid who fumbles their word. I need a D4 roll from Jane and Britt.
I got 3.
I got a 1.
And then Quentin is going to answer with a So we're actually going to finish this at the top next episode because I want Quentin to be able to answer since they're in the top 5. but I want you two to be able to answer this today. And Brick, if you want to, as a Pink Ranger, you could potentially give your spot to Eddie or Cecil.
Yeah, I was actually planning on, if I did make it far enough in order to give up my spot, I was planning on doing that. So I want to ask Cecily if I want to go up to Cecily and I'm going to be like, hey, the next thing is a debate and I'm no good at really talking in front of people. If you want, I know you need the spot more than I do. I've got college lined up already. So how can I hear myself from your computer all the way over there?
Sorry. It's hard when our characters are having an emotional moment.
So Cecily, why don't you mute yourself, and then Brick, you can do that kind of emotional thing again, and then Cecily can respond because that's a really nice moment. I'm gonna give you a story point for that, Brick. But yeah, go for it.
Well, okay, yeah. Brick knew he was probably going to do well in this thing because he's Brick, but he knows that he's pretty fortunate to already kind of have a plan going forward of what he's going to do for school. And he knows that Cecily comes from more of like an underprivileged family in the sense of like they're, a little less, whatever. So he decides to give up his spot, and he goes up to Cecily and says, hey, I know they're planning on doing some sort of debate, and I know how comfortable you are on stage, so I felt like I'm not really good at talking in front of people, so I thought I'd give you the chance to do this and hopefully win yourself a scholarship.
Cecily was already really upset after losing, because she kept trying really hard, and so she was kind of having a little bit of a moment off to the side, and this totally took her by surprise, because she kind of assumed that Brick would just want to win it just to win it. And so she was not going to be upset with anybody for wanting to do that, because she has a really competitive nature. So she wasn't going to be mad at anybody for winning, if that makes sense. But she's going to go, if you're sure, I would love to do this.
Yeah, I'm not really good at this kind of thing, so go get him, unicorn.
Well, Brick, you don't. You are allowed to do that. La Cienega will allow you to do that, but you are given a round of applause from the people in the stands that are very moved by your selflessness, because this is a very public thing. So you weren't going to get away without people seeing your selfless nature. So sadly, it could have been a more private thing, but it just wasn't with the venue. But yeah, so Jane and Cecily, I'm going to tell you your question, and you can answer. And then Quentin will get a chance to answer, and then the award will go basically at the top of the next podcast. So people will just have to tune in to find out what happens. But Jane, so you rolled a 1, so I'm going to give you your question first. Jane Russell, congratulations. Your question is, by the way, there are judges in the audience that are going to score you. You can't see them. They're blind judges. You don't know who they are, but you'll be scored on this answer. Okay. Jane Russell from Angel Grove High School. What is one hope you have for the world?
Jane stops for a minute and kind of looks down, and when she looks back up, she's a little emotional. She has some tears in her eyes, and she says, my one hope for the world is that the wars will all stop, and that way my father, who fought for this country and fought for the freedoms of other people, his death will not be in vain. And that's her answer. Okay. And then there's Quentin's question. Quentin has question 2. Cecily, your question is question 3. What dreams and desires do you wish to accomplish within the next 5 years?
Cecily is going to mentally have so many things to say, but she has to take a second, take a breath, and pause. She's going to go, up until this point in my life, I have spent so much of my time planning out every single detail and planning out the things that I wanted to do, but none of it really included other people. It was more things focused on my own achievements and doing things the way that I want to do them, so on and so forth. But recently I've discovered that connections and people that care about you are just as important as the achievements that you can do. So, of course, I want to go to college, and I'd love to study history because there's so much that we can learn from history and bringing it into the future. But in the same breath, I would love to strengthen the connections with those that I deem closest to me. And I would like to strengthen bonds. And I think that if you surround yourself with friends that have a lot of differences that are good, you can draw and learn from those differences. And I love learning. So I'm hoping that I can learn from people, whether it be through textbooks or through life experience.
Okay. And then the other two people go with their questions. Quentin goes, there's one final question. It's kind of like a bonus you can answer to get bonus points for the judges. We at the Angel Grove Committee are not blind to things that have been happening in Angel Grove these past few years. So a final question for a bonus. How would you defeat Rita Repulsa using your unique skill set? Anyone can answer.
I think that using our resources, and personally, I know that I have some resources growing up in the Renaissance Fair circuit. I do know some fencing and stuff like that, but I'm not saying that I'm going to fence Rita Repulsa or anything like that. I'm
Your
just
dad
saying.
goes huzzah. Huzzah.
Thank you. But I'm saying that I think that there's a lot of things that we could all kind of pool our resources together, and that's really what would help us defeat it. I don't think that one person could do it. I think that learning from each other's strengths and weaknesses is going to be the way that we end this once and for all.
Teamwork was going to be my answer to you.
Yeah, bestie.
As you say, yeah, bestie, the air around you stills. And if you didn't have a Morphin coin, you'd be frozen to the spot. And you're going to find out why next week. Next episode, not next week. Next episode. But yeah, the air stills around you. And Brick, from where you are, you're not on the stage anymore, but you're close enough. Eddie's the only one that's going to be farther away at that point. But yeah, the air still's around you, and we're going to find out what happens in the next episode. I want to thank everyone for listening in to Angel Grove Scholarship Field today. We had some wacky technical issues, but I think we had a real good time. And hopefully everyone learned a little bit about themselves and their characters. And I want to thank all the Rangers for joining me. And in the next episode, we'll have our full complement, and we'll find out what happened when the air fell. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.